Swat and Don't Turn Around here on 1FM 91.3 Good Times Greatest Hits. Good afternoon, 4:35 on a Monday the 21st of April. How you doing? Joining me in the studio this afternoon is a very technically funny guest. His name is Deepak Chandran, and he is a stand-up comedian here in not just Singapore but in Asia, and in fact quite well known in our region and even beyond. He's been traveling to lots of countries. He's a techie by day but a comic by night. And Deepak officially scored his Netflix special, just dropped on 18th of April. He's only the second person in Singapore to do so, and it's currently number 7 in terms of programs on Netflix Singapore. Congratulations and welcome to the show, Deepak.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're most welcome.
I'm
Thanks for
really
making
excited.
time for us.
I'm
Okay.
excited to be a part of the show. Yeah, you're right. We're trending number 7. Mm-hmm. Not bad. Not bad as
Not bad at all. Very good, lah. Just be modest. Don't need to be modest. Just say very good. So, Deepak, what does it take to score a Netflix special? Can you tell me?
That's kind of a journey. I think I've been doing comedy for almost 7.5 years now.
Yeah.
And I didn't post initially for the first 5 years. I didn't do much of posting and stuff. Then I started posting around 2022. And then I got a bunch of following on TikTok, a bunch of following on Instagram. Some of the videos got like 18, 20 million views.
Wow.
So I got some followers.
Yeah.
And then, so you burn a lot of material in the initial, because you're posting a lot of content and you burn a lot of material and you get a following. Once you get a following, you try to sell tickets and record a show.
Yeah.
And once you record a show, I thought I'll just have a number to Netflix or something, and I call, hey, Netflix. But that's not how it works.
Yeah. Everyone's wondering.
So you need somebody who's a producer who Netflix is authorized, or they've worked with Netflix before, they have a relationship.
Okay.
And then they arrange a pitch deck and they go pitch, and then then they watch your content and they see if it is good, and then if they like it, they would say yes.
Okay. So did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you?
I think it was all, we did the production. So I did the recording, the sales of the ticket, the production. So I had a producer. East Coast Comedy is my producer.
Oh, wow. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Okay, so you got to film everything yourself and then pitch it to Netflix.
Yeah, so monochromatic pictures and East Coast Comedy are my producer. So they went and pitched to Netflix.
Oh, wow. No wonder I was watching Joe Coy and he says, hey, a lot of this came from my own money at the beginning. And now I'm starting to understand why, It's just the way that the system works, I guess.
I think if you're really big, like if you're a big name in comedy, Netflix would go and sign you up for 6 deals or 5 specials or all. They do that. But I think I'm starting off and it's my first thing, so I'm pretty grateful I
caught Technically Funny, the title of your stand-up, over the weekend. I gotta say, it's so good. I can't believe it's only at number 7. I think it's gonna go up in the next couple of days. But it's so refreshing. I gotta say, the comedy was very refreshing, very witty, and such a keen observation of Singapore and Singaporeans. I like some of the references that you use. I don't want to give too much away to our listeners. I think you got to go watch it and find out for yourself how funny Deepak is. And he's right here in our backyard in Singapore and traveling to the world, Yep. So tell us about your journey. Guys, by the way, we're live on Facebook right now. If you want to see Funny, you can just log on right now. And look at his smiley face. He's such a sweetheart. Tell us about the journey to becoming a stand-up comedian, because you still have a full-time job, don't you?
Yeah, I do work full-time. I started comedy because of midlife crisis. I think I was alone, and I was not married at that time, and I didn't know what to do over a weekend and stuff. So I started going to clubs in Singapore, comedy clubs. There was Talk Comedy at that time. It was in Blue Jazz, and so you do open mics. So you do open mics, and you fail at telling jokes. You tell really bad jokes, and people won't laugh, and it'll break your heart.
And then you hear like the crickets and all that. Can I play the crickets for you? Is that sometimes the response to some jokes? And that's normal, right? It's just part and parcel of the process. Yep. You feel bad for a little bit, and then you're like, okay, you learn.
Yeah, it's a very humbling experience, because you're putting yourself out there. You write a joke and you think it's funny in your head, but sometimes people won't care about it.
I know. Talking about that, how do you decide whether or not a joke is funny? Is it something that you laugh at on your own, or you go to your wife and like, hey, how's this material? How are you testing it out?
I think you try to every joke starts with a premise.
Yep.
So premise is a thought that you have, and premise is like it's like you putting air into a balloon.
Yeah.
So there's a suspense at the end of it, and then you poke it and it bursts. That's a punchline, right? So every joke is like that. So people usually laugh because they're surprised.
Yeah.
Right? That is the emotion. You're surprised and you laugh, right?
Yeah.
So if you know that there's an element of surprise, there's an element of a misdirection, an element that you're not thinking you're going there, but you go there.
Yeah.
Those are good indicators that it is funny.
Okay.
But you never know. You never know till you test it out, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Singapore, because you have audience from everywhere in the world. So an average Singapore crowd would be 20-30%, 40% locals, and then you will have expats, tourists, people from different parts of the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's not easy to land a joke which will work for everybody.
Because it's so culturally diverse.
Yeah.
I mean, you're walking into a mixed bag of nuts in an auditorium, an auditorium or a theater, right? Okay, our chat continues live on Facebook. We'll be back with more of Deepak in just a little bit. But do head on over to 1FM 91.3 on Facebook. And if you have any questions, feel free to surf on by our WhatsApp as well, 88550913.
The Escapade with Carol on 1FM 91.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live. We are, oh wow, Lorena Andrade. She says, okay, great program. Dan Young is saying, hi, I'm Daniel. Candida is like, okay, I'm going to give it a watch. Technically funny.
Yep.
Really is very funny. And what, like I said, lots of respect to you because I don't think it's easy to pack 1 hour's worth of jokes into a special. You know, you got to be so selective, right?
Yep.
How did you decide, okay, I'm going to include this joke, or maybe there were jokes that were cut, I don't know, but surely you've prepared in excess of 1 hour, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you're trying to do a show about you as a programmer, so you need a lot of technical jokes in it.
Yeah.
But you also want people in Singapore to like it because there's some local references and local jokes. So there are taxi uncle jokes in it. You know, jokes about taxi uncles in
Yeah,
Singapore.
that was hilarious. I saw that bit. If you want a fatherly figure.
Comfort Delgado. Okay?
Oh my gosh,
Some of those local references are there. And then buying a home.
Yes.
So some of those. So I really wanted to have jokes which local Singaporeans can relate to.
Yeah.
But also the name of the special is technically funny because I am a techie and I really wanted to have jokes about office culture.
Yeah.
And how is it working like in a 9-to-5 and all of that. So
yeah, we definitely got that. I mean, the fact that it's called technically funny in it and of itself is so witty.
Yep.
You know, so I think that's what I really appreciate about your comedy. It's very refreshing. I think we first saw you opening for Jim Gaffigan.
Yep.
Was that you? That was you, right? That's how we got to know each other. And I was just like pissing my pants. I'm sorry. We were so blown away. But I was like, who's this Deepak guy? You know, you were just bursting onto the scene at that time, just slightly after. And I just thought, wow, you know, where have you been all this while? You know, hiding in which little cave or, you know, HDB in Singapore. So what was that moment like, you know, when
Jim Gaffigan?
Yeah, opening for, he's huge now as well.
He's huge. He's I think one of the things I liked about opening for Jim Gaffigan is how kind he was as a he's a superstar, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't literally have to be like, once you hit a certain level of fame, you could be whoever you want to be, right?
Yeah.
So I remember going to the theater at 5:45 to open for him. He came at around 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
He was wearing like Costco shoes, you know, like his T-shirt would be like from the I don't know, throwable bin from Walmart. I don't know. He was just
Pre-loved.
He's not no big brands, nothing.
Right.
And then he came into the lift. I told him my favorite joke of his.
Yeah.
He laughed at that. His favorite joke, which I like, is like he's eating a lot of ice cream and his wife says, "You won't be alive till your daughter's wedding," and then he says, "Oh, that's one reason to eat more ice cream."
Oh.
That's Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
So then I hope there's something called as a mic test before you
Okay.
go, and Jim did the mic test, and then he asked me, "Deepak, do you want to test the mic?" And I'm like, "Jim, you've tested. I don't really care about it." And he said, "No, you gotta test the mic."
Yeah.
And then he taught me how to use the mic, and he
Wow.
spent time, and then I was supposed to do 12 minutes opening for him.
Yeah.
And then he said, do 20 minutes, Deepak. Take your time. Because the first 5 minutes, nobody's going to listen to you. They're just sitting. They're worried if their friends are there. And then he made me do 20 minutes. And
Did you panic? Because I only have 12 minutes worth of content. I don't have 20 minutes worth of material, Jim. But you did well. I couldn't tell. I mean, because it was true. Because you could take your time. You could breathe. Let a joke breathe. Let the audience get used to you. Because it takes a while for people to kind of like who don't know you to just like, who are you? And
Yeah.
like, is he really funny? And like, let me process that. And like, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, it was a very good thing because I was very relaxed and he was watching from the side. And once the gig ended, he came to me and told me how you could write better jokes and how you're already writing jokes at a certain level and you would do really well.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, I think that one night gave me so much confidence.
Yeah.
To do well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It must mean so much to receive, confirmation, feedback, some validation from a professional, someone who does this for a living. And like you say, what a confidence boost as well. I mean, what a blessing to be able to do that here in Singapore as well.
Absolutely.
We had some time with Jim Gaffigan. We took him out for dinner at Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was trying, some like satay, all the local dishes like nasi lemak and the barbecue chicken wings and all that. And he's just like, sweating away, but so humble, humble.
Very humble guy.
Yeah. What's been the best part of your journey so far? I mean, apart from meeting Jim and us, obviously, but.
I think I feel that every joke is like climbing a wall, right? And I think it's like rock climbing, right?
Yeah.
You fall and then you get up and then you ride again, then you fall, you get up and you ride again. It builds a lot of tenacity in you as a person. Because because you're only as good as your last gig, right? If your last gig was great, that's pretty much it. If you bomb, when you say in comedy terms, if you don't get laughs, you bombed the gig, right? So sometimes it teaches you to be humble, because nothing is for granted, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my goodness! And what were some of the challenges that you faced?
I think I don't know. It's basically you have to juggle so many things in life. And sometimes you don't have a lot of bandwidth to write a joke or something. So what I do is that I'll go to a comedy club at 7 in the evening on a Friday. And then I'll sit at that club and write for 1 hour and then do the jokes at 8 o'clock. And then if it doesn't work in that span, there's another club. So I'll go at 9:30 to the next club. And then I'll refine that joke in the next club, right? And I get to do 4 attempts at a joke every week.
Yeah.
So I just try to refine and refine and refine. And if it reaches a certain level, I'm like, all right, this is great.
That's amazing. So you're spontaneously writing these jokes on the spot just before you perform.
Yep.
That's amazing. I would feel so scared and so pressured if that were me. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could handle being a stand-up comedian. I just like pee my pants.
Yeah, you do well. You do well.
I mean, here we have the benefit of our 4 walls, etc. We're live on radio, but then at the same time, do you still get like, what's the stage fright?
Not necessarily, because one thing I've learned is I'm not expecting to do well at all.
So you're going with very low expectations.
Yeah, because I'm not really worried about the outcome, that is the laughter. I'm worried about if I delivered it the way I wanted to deliver it.
Yes.
Right? That is the only thing in my control, right?
Yeah.
To give you an example, if you're doing a joke and suddenly somebody's glass falls down and that's a sound.
Yeah. The
nobody
momentum.
will laugh because it's comedy is so subtle, right?
Yeah.
So somebody's spoon can drop, phone can ring.
Yeah.
All of this could impact what you did in that night. But imagine if you delivered what you are supposed to deliver well. That's all used in your control.
Yeah.
So I just focus on that.
Okay. Have you though been spooked by someone's phone ringing or a glass dropping,
Always.
and then you're like, what's the joke again? What's the punchline? And then it derails you for a little bit.
Always.
Seriously, how do you come back from that?
I don't know. Earlier, I used to. Sometimes people take it personally. Oh, it's my time, and you. These days, I don't.
Yeah.
I somehow think people have lives. So somebody's mom will call. So usually, if a phone rings, I'll ask who called.
Yeah.
I just made some.
Oh my gosh, I just love chatting with you, Deepak. We're going to be jumping back live on air, so do come join us there. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments as well. And we'll try and pick them up really quickly, okay? All right, back in a moment.
With this, shape plays on a fade, slice like a ninja, cut like a razor blade so fast. Other DJs say, damn, a rhyme was a drug, I'd sell it by the gram. Keep my composure when it's time to get loose, magnetized by the mic while I kick my juice. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while DJ revolves it. Ice, ice.
With Chain Reaction here on 1FM 91.3, Good Times, Greatest Hits. 4:53 on a Monday afternoon. How's it going? Carol with you, and I got funny man Deepak Chandran in the house. Welcome back to the studio, Deepak. And of course, he is only the second Singaporean or second person in Singapore to score a Netflix special. It's called Technically Funny. So congratulations on that. It's at number 7 today in terms of programs. So Deepak, you've traveled to so many different countries performing your stand-up. How many countries have you covered so far?
I think I've done more.